These people, they need help. They've been forgotten, and it's not okay. They're fellow Americans. There's another relief effort right there, I'm sure. Yeah, it is actually.
I'll talk to Kristin for a minute. You can take your call.
The devastation and the need is just astronomical. These people have been forgotten. We've been cutting trees off of people's houses.
Hey, it's Jordan. I am in Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the only independent outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up.
Jason Peters here, reporting live for Status Coup. We are out in Swannanoa, North Carolina, outside of Asheville, North Carolina, reporting on relief efforts from Hurricane Helene just a few months ago. Here I'm standing with Nathan and Kristin from Redneck Housing Relief to talk about the work they've been doing. So just walk me through your process of how you got down here, when you got down here, and what types of work you guys have been doing.
Absolutely. So we got a call, and we knew that there was a lot of devastation down in this area. We actually, Nathan's sister lives in South Carolina. We couldn't get a hold of them. Weren't seeing much on the national news. We're actually from Arizona. So God spoke to us, said we needed to be here, packed up the truck and the dogs, and drove out here. We've been out here pretty much ever since for the entirety of the storm, the last 3 months.
Yeah, pretty much. We were sitting at home and saw the devastation. I tried to get a hold of my sister, couldn't get a hold of her. We finally got a hold of her when we were coming through Texas. But like Kristin said, we just threw the tools in the truck and prayed on it and jumped on the road and came out here. And not knowing what to expect, not knowing what it was going to be like, we dodged Hurricane Milton on our way out. We stayed a little bit north of it so that we could make it safely. And when we got here, we started out at Harley-Davidson alongside the Redneck Air Force, a great group of guys. We assisted in distributing, I don't even know how much worth of vital needs in areas all over the place. In the first 3 weeks, we had put 4,500 miles on our truck. We did relief, we did rescue, we did we jumped in on some recovery efforts too as well, just trying to find people, reach out to people, get to try to get people safe, and from there it's just progressed and progressed and progressed. We've done well, we started back home after a month and a week. Our daughter was going to have a baby, so we started back home to witness the birth of the baby, and we got to New Mexico, and she called and said, well, he came a week early, you guys can slow down. So we missed the birth of our grandbaby, but we stayed there for 9 days, I think it was, and then jumped back in the vehicle and came back out again. We're building tiny homes, we're coordinating with other organizations, getting people everything that they need. Kristin and I ourselves, we've actually invested about $120,000 of our own personal finances into recovery efforts or relief efforts for families. We're doing stuff in just about every area of Western North Carolina. We've done over at this point, I think 394 relief missions that we've done, and we're going to keep doing them. These people, they need help. They've been forgotten, and it's not okay. They're fellow Americans. There's another relief effort right there, I'm sure, yeah, it is actually.
I'll talk to Kristin for a minute. You can take your call. So, more than $100,000 spent out of you guys, lots of relief missions. What is the type of work that you guys have been doing? Where have you been helping? What are some of the areas that the national media might not know about that are being affected?
So we are in Swannanoa quite often, every day. We actually stay in Asheville. We're in Asheville every day. We're in Black Mountain. We're in Old Fort. We're in Marshall. We're all across the board, Lake Lure, Chimney Rock, you name it. We've been there, and the sad part about it is the more people we talk to, the more areas we're getting to know. And I mean, for people that have been everywhere, we thought the devastation and the need is just astronomical. These people have been forgotten. We've been cutting trees off of people's houses. They've, yesterday we were at a lady's house with excavators. She had gotten her original house washed away and was graciously donated a camper. However, the weather conditions here are insane, and for people that have just been through the biggest storm of the century, now to have freezing temperatures, freezing rain, snow, it's bringing down trees on top of their donated campers. So it's really an unfortunate situation. We're getting phone calls hourly, even minute by minute, and we're going out delivering people propane directly to them. They might have lost their car, can't get to the store. They lost their house, their neighbor lost their car, they're freezing. So and obviously it's not safe driving conditions right now, so we're driving them propane, we're driving them food, anything that they need,
warm blankets, heaters, generators, whatever they need. And we've even sent a family last week. They had their baby girl. They were staying across the street. They lost their home. They lost their jobs, and they were staying across the street. They got housed by a group of guys over there that was attempting to help, but it wasn't the ideal situation for a child. So they were really upset, didn't know what to do. It's been almost 4 months that they're living like this. So we sent them to Texas. Kristin and I covered
place in Texas, but they didn't have a way to get there. To us, housing relief means all kinds of things. If we need to pay for 3 bus tickets to get that family to a safe place, that to us is housing relief.
Yeah.
So you are 2 do-gooders from Arizona with backgrounds in handiwork, and you said you're a contractor. How has the responsibility for taking care of these people fallen to you two,
Well,
We ask ourselves that same question over and over again.
Lack of presence. And I'm not trying to bash anybody for it. They're finally starting to do things. Things are finally starting to happen, but they're not happening fast enough. Originally we were the only ones that were out here. People like us, and it made it to where, we're all Americans. And no American, if you're an American citizen and you've lost everything, you should be denied nothing. And it made it so that we decided that we were going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of their slack as well. And those $750 donations that they promised everybody and failed to fulfill to a large degree, well, we started going around and handing out those $750 donations ourselves, personally, in cash.
Are those the FEMA 750?
Kind of, sort of, yeah, pretty much. And I know that they got a lot on their plate too. I know that some mistakes were made, and I know maybe even possibly some bad decisions were made here and there. And once again, I'm not bashing on them. And it's not every one of them individually. It's there is a call for change within the group itself, and I think change needs to occur because certain things could have been handled differently and appropriated properly, but for whatever reason they weren't, and it really threw some curveballs at people, and then you got people here in Western North Carolina that are worried to death about we've witnessed and we've heard some terrible things that have occurred, where the buyout's about your only option, and people don't want to give up their land. It's been inherited in their family for decades, and that's the last thing they got. They lost their home that was on the land. They lost their vehicles on the land, and all their possessions, all of their family heirlooms, pictures of their children growing up that they could never recover. And so the last thing they want to do is get rid of their land, and And it's thrown even more curveballs here and there at folks, and then you got the situation where you got your land, you don't have a house, but you got a tent, and you got your children sleeping in a tent. Well, that's not really a fit environment for a child, so that comes into play as well, you know. And they come out and they're mandated, I'm sure they are, just like any other peace officer probably, to report those incidents. So I'm not faulting them for that. I mean, it's all about making children safe, but you know, I mean, I think that it's not really right to, I mean, the kids have already been through enough, and now you're trying to displace children or whatever the case is. I'm sure some of it is for good reasons, but some of it, I think there should be a little bit of love spread rather than take that child and report them. Just for an unfit environment. I think that they should assist in making a fit environment. And
there's one really big gap that we've noticed too is all the renters, the people that don't own their land, and you know they don't have a place to go back to. So
place to go. I've got somebody on the phone right now that's asking if she can say something too. I don't know if it can be heard or not.
Sure, and we'll come out and interview this person if they want. But
Crystal,
go ahead.
Do you want to say something?
Hello, Crystal.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
What did you want to say?
Well, I'm at now through delivery move Hurricane. I live in Maurice Marion area. It's down below Black Mountain, and like we completely forgot about down here. They was houses underwater, campers lost. I mean, there's nobody helped Burke County or McDowell County.
We're the only ones assisting that county that we know of.
Yeah, and I contacted them and told them what was going on, and they've delivered like 2 or 3 tiny houses to people down here. They brought generators, and you know, they made sure I've had propane. They actually got me unstuck today because we went off in a ditch.
Her car was in a ditch, and we got a tow truck out there to pull her out because we couldn't get there quick enough. But
you know, these people are wonderful. Like they're my right hand people. Like they are awesome. I got somebody out. They got somebody out of the cold today that I knew. I called them this morning. They had them in somewhere within an hour. And I mean, they're just really good people. And you know, they need more because like down here, like I said, they're the only ones who's trying to do anything down here. And there are 2 people trying to do all of it. And you know, they're just you couldn't ask for anybody better.
Thank you, Crystal. This is Jason, the journalist, interviewing Nathan and Kristin. We'd love to come interview you if you have the time this week.
Okay, that's fine.
Got it. I'll get your information, but thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we'll see you down there in when we're done here, it's going to take us about an hour to get to you, and we got a truckload of stuff for you guys. So we'll see you down
And this is what the work looks like. They do not stop.
We're up at 6 a.m. and we don't get back to where we're staying. Actually, we're very grateful. There's a local farmer that we've been working with, and he has offered a small little spot on his farm. We ourselves in that location do not have running water. We don't have heat. So we are.
So you guys are giving people running water and heat, but you guys don't have it?
Well, that's the help mission. You know, we're in it with y'all, and the more that we sacrifice, the more we're able to give to others. So that's our mission.
And we just bought a 1,000-gallon water tank that's sitting at the other end of this parking lot. It's a blue one down there behind an RV, and our goal with that is to get that thing operable so that we can actually start delivering water. Because you got to think, a lot of people don't think about it. They're getting these RVs. Well, the RVs have a water storage tank. There's no water hookups. I mean, they're staying wherever they can stay with them. And the RVs are great. And hats off to Matt Van Swol. Hats off to Sean Hendricks for doing everything that they're doing too. You know, Casey Clark. They're doing good things. We've got there's certain individuals around that are doing good things, and but what's not being taken into consideration is water source. You know, I mean, so say you got an RV and you got a place to put it. Do you have a water hookup? No, you don't. So how do you use your toilet? You can't. you can't. So you got that's another issue that arises. So we purchased a 1,000-gallon water tank, and we're actually we got a friend of ours that's going to team up with us, and he's going to go around and we're going to cover fuel costs and stuff like that, and see if we can get him to deliver clean water, potable water to the RVs to refill their watershed and underneath, so that they can use their toilet, they can cook, they have running water that's clean, they can shower, as long as they have a generator, and we got those too. The Red Cross just gave us a couple more to hand out, and we're very appreciative of that. And prior to that, we were I was rubbing sticks together to keep people warm, and then we have another friend of ours who's providing us with some heat barrels. And he just called me this morning, or yesterday morning, I think it was, and said he's got 10 more ready for us. So
give him a shout out.
Yeah,
the Western North Carolina Heat Ferry.
Yeah, Western North Carolina Heat Ferry. Thomas, he's a good man. He's got him a nice plasma cutter, and he's doing his things too, and trying to help out, get people warm. And he makes these cute little cozy campfire things. And another thing that Kristin and I are doing is we're attempting to purchase a piece of property here in Swannanoa, and our goal for that is to just create, and the reason why we're doing it is because we've encountered a couple of situations where you've got these communities of RVs and nobody's vetted. So you got a possible, the incident that occurred was you've got a sex offender over here, and then you have a child living 2 RVs down or 2 tents down. So we recognize that, and
it seems like the wild, wild west in this relief effort.
Like Arizona, man. We're used to Arizona, so, might as well call Doc Holliday and all those guys in, and Wyatt Earp and everybody else. It'd be great if they were still here. I'm sure things would be different, but unfortunately they're not. And
there's a lot of community support, a lot of folks just like ourselves that they're trying to get back to work. And but they're still
their jobs are gone.
But they're still doing relief missions along with us.